hobby streaker, stripping down your hobby to its bare plastic. Hey everyone, welcome to the Hobby Streaker episode 3. I'm joined by my co-host as always, Liam, the man, the legend. 1,342 days of hobby streak. That's just crazy. Today,
that's if I manage to get any painting done today, which is likely.
I think you're good. So for those people who don't want to count, that's 3 years and 247 days. It's nuts. I'm only at 165 today, but hey, everybody to its space. Alright, so first I would like to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the YouTube channel, that are downloading the podcast. By the way, we're on iTunes now. Woohoo! Well, Apple Podcast, sorry. Same difference. And so yeah, it's been great. A lot of good feedbacks on both episodes, episode 1 and 2. I think the episode 2 is much better, and I hope people enjoy the improved quality. Again, different software, different way of recording, all of this just made it so much easier. So, before we start, I would like to, and I've wrote it down, because I don't want to, I want to make sure that it gets credit. So, Lord of the Night corrected us on the first video, corrected me on the first video, corrected me on the second video, because I messed up on the Kickstarter. So, Mantic is doing an Overdrive spin-off, which is for their game Dreadball. And so, not to mix with Mythic Games, who is doing Super Fantasy Brawl. And they're the one who are doing Siege 6, which I, by the way, did not back. The minis are nice, and maybe somewhere down the line I'll pick it up just for the minis, but I didn't feel like going for the game itself. It's a 2-player game mostly, so not something that we can play with the family. Alright, as you can see, I'll keep painting Deadpool today. I don't know if I'll finish him today, but he's looking pretty good. At least probably the mini will be done, but maybe not the rest. Anyways, so what are you painting today?
So today I'm going for some of the Thunderstrike Praetors from the new Warhammer Age of Sigmar Dominion box set.
Alright.
So I'm going to start with the blue, then move on to the red on the capes and the little
Did you prime them?
they've got on their halberds. They are primed. They're built and primed. I've got them in a really useful box. So I took them all down to my garden, sprayed them all up. I think it was last Monday or last Tuesday or something. Left them on the back porch to air out for like a day. Brought them back up to my room, put the lid on, put them in the stack them all out of the Stormcast box. Took them out this afternoon, ready to paint today, and it still smells of spray primer in there. So
yeah, well,
good
that's
job.
why this guy
Well
right
me.
here,
Yeah.
which is why, like, yeah, so airbrush.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and especially, I mean, all right, so, and we'll probably end up talking about this one of those episode properly about airbrush and spray can and all this, but yeah, the problem is when you live in a country, well, in part of the country like I do, where it's very cold. I mean, we get -20 to -30 during the winter. So there is absolutely no way I can prime anything, or I have to do it. What I used to do is put the can in hot water, put it back, so that it's
Yep.
nice and warm, and then spray in the garage so that it doesn't smell in the house, and then bring the model back into the house but into the laundry room so it doesn't sting the whole house. And so yeah, I'm really happy I got my airbrush now. Anyways, what have you done the past 2 weeks?
Oh, I need to go back to the show notes because I've done lots. Where am I? Where did I go? Right, so I finished the Judicators that I started. That was halfway through painting in the last episode.
Mhm.
So they're like 98% done. There's like
Okay.
2-3 little bits that I need to do on them, and then they need varnishing, and then they need magnets on,
Okay.
and then they're done. Dominion Box Day, I went to Coventry and sweated and did karate stuff for 5 hours, then came back,
Yep.
and then on my way back I was like, texted my mate who I was splitting the box with, said, "Oh, my box is here, did you want to come over like we kind of arranged and build it and stuff?" And he was like, "Was that this week? I organised to watch the rugby with my dad." So I was like, "Cool, that's fine. That means I get to."
You're sharing that box,
sit
right?
and die for a while. Yes.
Yeah. So you've taken the Stormcast, and then
I've got
he's
the
taken the
Stormcast
Orcs,
off.
right?
He's got the Orcs. So I think that evening I did some really basic stuff. I just put some of the crackle paint down on some bases, and yeah, did some like really easy stuff on that, and then built the Stormcast half of Dominion. That's all behind me there. Got photos probably flashing up on the screen as I speak due to the power of editing.
Yup. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
But yeah.
And then that
you
same
should
day
be
that I
putting
built,
some, yeah.
that I built
And
those,
again, like the people listening to us on the podcast, you can check out both the YouTubes if you want to see the pictures, or if you don't like YouTube and all this, then you can still go on our respective Twitters, which should be also on the screen, and then that should give you where to go look for. You should be able to see the progress we've made and all the stuff that we've painted, and so you can do that too.
Yeah, so I built them on the day after Dominion. Took them all out for a game on the Sunday afternoon. Forgot some of the rules of the what my opponent was playing, so now I've got a 0-1 record in AOS 3.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you're back to playing in person. That's pretty cool.
And then, like the last few days, I've been starting on the next bit of stuff from the previous Mortal Realms delivery, which is lots of spooky ghosts. So I've got a nice quick scheme.
Is that still ongoing
for them?
Like, how many more do you have to receive?
I think we've got 2 more deliveries, so that's 8 issues.
Okay.
But the last delivery is 2 models. They're just splitting it over 4 issues because they're like the big centerpiece models.
Oh. So do you receive like multiple parts in those 4 things? Oh, okay.
So it's a weekly magazine.
But they send it all 4 at the same time. That's right.
But they send you 4
said,
issues at a go.
All right.
So that's that. So I've got a handful of. Got another Stormcast on Dracoline, and then I've got 5 ghosts, and then I've got the Kurdos Valentian. It's quite cool. He's a little ghost, just like grumping along on a throne with like 2 ghosts off the side of his throne, playing the trumpet and waving his flag around. It's a pretty cool model.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Alright,
yourself?
Well, myself. Well, so I've painted just one demon. From Raining Hell. I ended up breaking one, which sucks. Because so resin is pretty brittle. The new one that I've got, the new resin is better. It's a little bit more resistant to abuse, but the first one, I dropped something that just went flying and it just broke the horns of the demons and everything, and it took me forever to put it back together. It just was a pain. So that was it, and then so did also a lot of editing. So last week for the new podcast that, well, 2 weeks ago for the podcast that we did, I ended up, like I said, switching to DaVinci. Spent some time learning to just edit properly and add some few things here and there. So that was fun. That took me a couple of nights as well. I finished a lot of my marbles. So I realized that I tend to not finish my bases. I had about 4, 5 models that were done but not done. Like, the models were painted and everything, but the base was not done. I decided, I was like, oh, I should maybe do something about that. And so I went back and finished those, which is good to have finally finished models. Then the last couple of models that came in from Marvel Crisis Protocol are, and I'm gonna move my model, and so War Machine, which I think is really cool, and Falcon version, Captain America version. So of course when they arrived I had to build them. I got really upset with War Machine because it's well, so it looks like the model that they have on the box and actual model that was received is not the same. So in between the time that they actually did the printing of all the, you know, how to assemble and all this, and the cover art and all this, by the time they got the actual models, they were different. And it's the same for Falcon. The wing that's got the shield is a lot straighter on the display model on the box than it is the real one. So I ended up going over with some hot water and just forcing it straighter. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than what came in the box. And War Machine was just like, the pieces just were a nightmare. So many different pieces. I'm surprised because they've reduced a lot their number of pieces now that they're doing. When you see the first models and the new models, they're a lot easier to build. So I'm guessing that those are actually still maybe old sculpt, not the new versions that they are doing that are a lot better. So anyways, yeah. And I ended up doing Omega Red, which is really cool too. And he is quite big. And this one was so easy to build compared to the others. So I'm guessing that's a newer sculpt. Finish Mystique, which I did mid-transformation. I thought that was pretty cool. Not my idea, I've seen it on the Facebook group. So I decided to do the same, just have her half normal and half blue transforming. Finished Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, and I did the base for Beast, Enchantress, and I think that's it. And now, last weekend was the 4th of July. Well, this weekend? No, last weekend, the weekend before that. So 2 weeks ago, which is the Independence Day in the US. We had some friends over and we ended up going rock hunting. So, no, we're not trying to shoot rocks with guns. That just would be stupid. But we are looking, like, basically you go around and you look for rocks, which was really, really fun. And it's always fun. The kids love it. You can find some really nice rocks and stuff like that. That's we went to a first site that was meh, and then we went to a site that we knew a lot better, and that was really, really nice. And so yeah, that is what I've done the past few weeks. Received a bunch of stuff. So I received new paintbrushes, Monument Hobby Pro Sable, which are the Monument Hobby sable hair brushes. And so when I got those, I had the idea of going and doing a poll, which we'll talk about later. And so yeah, I tried those out, and that's about it. I received also the Pro Acryl black primer, which I have not tried yet. Did I try it? I don't think so. I don't know. I'm doing so many different things at the same time. I should just focus on just doing one thing and finishing, but hey, having fun. So what did you try?
So I went out and I bought one of the new Citadel Colour STC range brushes, which are their new super synthetic ones, and I haven't had a chance to try that yet.
Oh, that's the new line, that white, those
the
white ones. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be trying a dry brush effect on the throne for Spooky Ghost Man.
Yeah, so my dry brushes are makeup makeup brushes.
Dry brush I'm using at the moment is this
old
from a shitty pack of crappy brushes I got from a local hobby store.
Well, that's the thing is, like,
I needed a new dry brush, so I thought, hey, let's try something new.
Going for the cheap makeup brush actually works really well. Even for like the small one, I found a small one that's pretty good, and I like it. So, and it's a Elf, which is that brand that you can find pretty much anywhere, and it's just, they're not that great, but they're super cheap, so that's another good thing. All right, well, so now let's go into our new segment, and by popular decision on Facebook group, we put it to a vote. This is gonna be called the Streaker Poll, which I think is funny. I'm still juvenile, and I don't care. It's still funny. All right, well, so I'm gonna actually look at my little table, which again should be popping on the screen for those looking on YouTube. We had at first 144 votes until someone came back and was like, "Oh, I'm late to the party. Hey, here's my vote." Basically, so I adjusted that. Basically, the question was, what is your favorite brush? And again, because I just got the new Monument Hobbies brush, I was like, how do they compare? Do people actually use them, and so on? I know that Ninjon said that he was using them, and I think Broken Toads are the two brand that he's using mostly now. I know that Miniac likes the same that I do, which is the Raphael 8404. So I put that to a test, and I asked the 4 choices, because there's only 4 choices on Twitter that you can put, which kind of sucks. I wish there was more option than just 4, but anyways. So I asked, and I put, so Raphael was one, Winsor and Newton Series 7 was another choice, Da Vinci was a third choice, and then other. And I put comment for, if you put other, please basically comment and tell us what other brand, or because there's a whole bunch of them. So, well, Winsor and Newton Series 7, which should be somewhere in there. There we go. That's one. Winsor and Newton Series 7. And that's a number 1 that I have here. Got the most vote, which, I am still not convinced. A lot of people like those. I mean, it got 72 votes out of 145. So yeah, that's like 50%. Like, most people voted for those. Then the ones that got the most vote after that was the Raphael 8404, which I just love that brush. It's awesome. And I keep licking it. I'm sorry, but yeah, there's no paint, so we're good. And then Da Vinci got about 7 votes. Now, of the people that put other, not everyone commented, so I don't know what some of them actually prefer. What we got was that most people, the 2 brands that got the most were the Artist Opus, got 7 votes as well, and then the Rosemary and Co. got 6 votes, and then the Monument Hobbies got 4 votes. And then after that, you got into GW, Broken Toad, Cheap Brushes, Pro Arte, Tamiya, and so on. There's like a lot of them got like a couple of votes, or a couple to 1 votes. Basically just people saying, hey, I really like those brushes. Now, a lot of people also put, well, I'm using that, but I also like this one. And I think that pretty much the Artist Opus, and I will probably try to put a picture on the screen on YouTube, but you can go see on their website. I mean, the presentation of their brushes is just amazing. It's in a little wooden box that you can customize and everything. And I was like, holy moly, that's really nice. But again, like, that's the box. Like, you're paying for the box. But the brushes themselves are really nice, and they look like some really good brushes. So I definitely
when they first came out, there were some mixed reviews that I saw on Instagram. So I think a couple of people got some, and they were like starting to not hold a point straight out of the box in the first couple. But I think since then, they've fixed all of that.
They improved
nice because
if they can do
they're
this,
advertising
and this is
themselves
nice,
as a premium brush range, so they kind of need to be able to hold a point.
Yeah. Oh no, that's definitely. I mean, and this is the thing with synthetic brush compared to the Sable brushes. I mean, the Monuments Hobby that I have, which are the synthetic one, some of them are already starting to hook. But I mean, I've used them constantly for the past month, just like on a regular basis. Well, my Sable brushes still hold a point after about a year. So yeah. And yeah, and this is the thing. It was funny to see, because a lot of people, had different opinion, and and I think it was very interesting. And the result, again, like, I cannot believe that a lot of people just like the Winsor Newton. Maybe I got a bad one. I don't know. I maybe got a bad batch or something. Cause I don't know. I never got into really using them because I got it. I was like super happy to get it, and then I was like, not so great. But again, not like a lot of people had positive reviews about it, and they're like, yeah, I'm not using anything else. This is my go-to. It's my workhorse and all this. I was like, well, I should maybe give them another try for sure. And I don't know if you can hear it on the mic, but yes, there is a pretty bad storm outside. So hopefully I will not lose.
We had a really, really freak rainstorm sweep through my area last night while I was at work. I got very wet.
Oh shit, that sucks. So yeah, so nice little poll again. I will put the graphic, the table on the on the screen for those watching on YouTube. Yeah, it was fun, and again, like the support that we got on this. I mean, 145 votes. I was not expecting that at all. This is something that we want to do. Oh, here we go, thunder. Sorry.
I can't hear it on my end, so you should be all right.
I should be okay then. So yeah, we'll be doing a poll every 2 weeks. Probably more tied into the main topic for the next few ones that we're gonna do, if we can. So then that gives us something to talk about. We didn't want to talk brushes today. That was not the topic that was chosen, and I was not expecting the poll to actually do so well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was great, and again, like a lot of people,
and all 140
comments.
of you need to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Please, thank you.
Yep, please subscribe, like, leave comments. So I don't know if anybody noticed that the comments were gone for a little bit. That's because I was trying to. So my kids want to watch this.
Right.
But I've put the parental control on their YouTube.
Right.
So anything that is not suited for kids, they cannot watch. Which is great. I mean, it's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. Well, except that our videos are not put as suited for kids initially. So they could not watch those. And then I put them as okay for kids. And that just screwed everything, because that means you cannot leave comments and blah blah blah. So I've switched them back to not suited for kids. But hey, it's alright. I'm trying to see.
Does that mean I need to swear less?
No, it has. Well, and this is the thing. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, you choose if they are suited for kids or not. I mean, last time I was looking at it while I was listening to it, we had 2, 3, I think, curse word in the entire show. So, that wasn't that bad. And especially like one was actually saying the title of the episode. So I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. We're doing good.
Okay.
So yeah, as you can see, this one, again, the people, like, that's my number 2, and it's a money.
Did you hear that one? I heard that one. That was a big one.
Yep, that kind of made the whole house shake. Jeez. So yeah, that one started to hook a little bit, and that's a number 2, and it's but it's a synthetic one, so not to worry about it. They're just gonna do their part, because, and if people don't know, when you're doing contrast paint, shades, well, wash it or shades, whatever you want to call them, and metallic paints, do not use your sable brushes. You will just kill them. You'll destroy them. Use synthetic brush and just don't worry about it. So yeah. So that's my take on brushes. This is something that I've not seen anyone commented on it. And those are the Squidmore brushes. Like, nobody put those on. Here we go. I'm putting... So, I backed his Kickstarter, where he made some brushes with DaVinci, which I like DaVinci. They make some really nice brushes. So I had a DaVinci 2 Maestro, which again, I will try to show on the screen. So yeah, I have my number 2 Maestro, which is still the same that when I bought it. Keep a nice point and everything. So when Squidmore did his Kickstarter, I decided to back it up and get the brushes, and they're really good, and I really like them. And I've used them a lot to paint, and they're still doing pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about those. And nobody mentioned those, and that's what I was surprised when I put DaVinci. I thought that a lot more people would say, "Oh yeah, we like DaVinci," because yeah, but nope.
Honestly, I'd never heard of them.
So what do you use for painting?
At the moment, I'm using these, which are a crappy. I think it was a 8 or 9 piece set that I got given.
Yep.
Yeah, sort of like those.
Same.
And
yeah, those are more.
Before that, yeah. I have got like an 8 piece set that I bought from the hobby store, and I've got, I think for like my fine detail work, I use a Citadel small layer brush, and I've got a Citadel shade brush through the Mortal Realm magazine, so I've been using that for all the contrast stuff on my Stormcast.
Okay. Cool.
So, different tool for different jobs.
Well,
so I'm not going to use...
And again, you don't want to use a sable brush for contrast paint or washes or anything like this, or metallics, because they're just, yeah, that just... But for base layer and everything, and so again, I'm not going to go back to the comments and everything, because there were a lot of them. But some people were saying, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, you know, this is my workhorse, and it's funny because there was one girl that was talking about her Raphael 8404, and she was saying that yeah, she uses it for everything, even like small details. She still uses it because that point is so fine that it doesn't matter what you're painting. You're using the tip, and the tip is super fine. So yeah, basically, except for the eyes, you can paint pretty much everything with just that size brush. My point is not as good as it used to, but I can still probably do most of the work with it as well. I just like to change once in a while. Well, alright, so now we can talk about our main topic, which was not brushes, but the hobby and how to schedule when you have a busy week or a busy day or when something happens. And so, why don't you start?
We're coming at this from getting your hobby streak done sort of perspective. So this is not this is how you should live your life and organise it so you can get a hobby in all the time. This is if you're doing your hobby streak and you know you've got a busy day coming up, some hints and tips. Your mileage may vary.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we all have our tricks, I think, for busy days. So why don't you start with your cura today? Like, how did you plan?
So, the other Wednesday, Saturday, yeah, Saturday the 3rd, Dominion launch day. So I had to go up to Coventry, which is a 2-and-a-bit-hour drive from where I live, to do karate stuff.
So how did that go? Side note.
I passed the assessment, so
Awesome.
I need to go back in a couple of weeks to do it again. And if I'm successful in a couple of weeks, then I will have graded to my 4th degree black belt, which is kind of serious business.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
on a Saturday, so I work the late on a Saturday. So I work in retail, so my shifts are all over the place. So I normally get my hobby done on a Saturday in the morning before I go to work. But
Okay.
this particular instance, I knew that I was going to be leaving the house about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I was going to be rushing around making sure my uniform was ready, making sure I had lunch, making sure I had water, making sure I had my towel, making sure I had all the stuff that I needed to go up, and basically sit in a car and be nervous for a couple of hours before I got out and did my thing. So I knew, right, I'm not going to be able to get this done in the morning. So we're going to hold off on that, and we're going to make sure we've got something simple to do when we get back, which was going to be build Dominion. Because these are, Dominion stuff is the easy to build push fit models.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Are they push fit? Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah,
I can do those. They're fine.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for when I got up on Sunday morning. Some of them less so.
Do you glue them still, even if they're push fit, or?
I glue them.
Okay.
Because some of them, especially this guy, you can still see he's got a big crease down his cape there, where the two parts have gone together. So I like to make sure that those bits have got a little bit of extra glue on them, so that when I push them together, the plastic glue comes up between the gap, and then as it dries, I can scrape that down, and so it dries and sets as one piece.
Okay.
So that's my little hack for that. So yeah, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that or get any proper painting done that evening as well, because I'll have done like a 2.5-hour drive, 5 hours of karate, 2.5-hour drive back. So
yeah, no, and usually there's those days where you're like completely knackered. I mean, you're just completely dead from whatever you do, from whatever that day was. Like, and those days usually
on days like that, I've got like a small pile of boxes under my desk for a day when I'm like, you know what, I really can't be bothered. I'm just going to build something. So I'm at least doing something.
Yeah, and I think that's usually that's what.
So if I can't be bothered painting detail, I can just go right. Yeah. All this needs to be one color. Palette, pot, brush, water, 2 thin coats.
Yeah.
Job done. I've done something.
And I think a lot of people are doing that for when you don't feel like painting, then assembly is something that a lot of people do. Now, to be honest, most of the time that's what I do, but there are those occasions that like when Falcon and War Machine arrived, yeah, that I just wanted to build them because they're brand new and they're like, hey, yeah, I want to build those. But yeah, most of the time, I mean, I'm the same. I have a few models. I got still all my Stargrave that I haven't touched, and those will be my go-to when I need something to paint, something to do, and I don't want to paint. Those will definitely be my models. Now, sometimes, and this has happened to me, you just have your day all planned, and you're like, yeah, this is what today's gonna be like, and either you get super busy at work, or something happens when you end up at the dock or at the hospital or something like this, because one of the kids is sick or something similar. And that's when things don't go as planned. So I try to, most of the time, paint in between dinner and when we put the kids to bed, so that usually I have that time. But when that doesn't work, then I wait for the kids to be in bed and I just do something. And again, yeah, if I'm exhausted, then usually that's what I'll do. I'll be like, yeah, I'm not gonna paint anything and I'm just gonna build something real quick and spend my 30 minutes. I mean, I was surprised. Omega Red took me 30 minutes. I was really surprised because it's a big model and I was not expecting it to take me that long. And that's one model. You build it, 30 minutes, done, and you're fine. So now you're talking about planning. So this one, yeah, you could plan and everything. But do you have like your week plan as far as when you're gonna do your hobby streak?
So, because I work in retail, I've got a rota in advance where I know when I'm going to be working.
Uh-huh.
And normally that's the same, but occasionally, you have people have holidays, so you're moving away and you're doing overtime and this, that, and the other. But like in a normal week, I know that on a Monday I'm working late, so I'm doing my hobby in the morning before I go to work. On a Tuesday, I work in the morning, so I'm doing my hobby in the afternoon, in the evening, depending on whether we're filming or not. On a Wednesday, my day off, so I can get it done whenever.
Yeah.
Thursday, work in the morning, get it done in the afternoon when I get home, before I go out to karate. Friday again, evening.
Oh, and for sure, yeah.
Paint in the morning. Saturday, work in the evening, paint in the morning. Sunday, day off. Can either do some painting before I go to club, or I can do some painting after I get home from club.
Well, aren't you counting the fact that you're doing a game, like a proper Age of Sigmar game or something like this, as hobby streak?
I don't count playing games at club as part of my streak.
Okay. Alright.
Because pandemics aside, I know that I can get a game in every week. So I'm like, right, yeah. I'm using the streak to get my models from sprues in boxes to finished stuff on the table. That being said, I do count going to events. So if I go to a weekend event, I know I'm not necessarily going to have the time to do that at the hobby, because playing three games on a Saturday is like 3 2.5 hour games, and your brain's melted by the time you finish doing that.
And I think that's when you're traveling, whether to go to a convention or for work or whatever, then you get into the issue where, what am I gonna do? And I was seeing a guy on Twitter Sorry, I don't remember from the top of my head, at the top of my head, what his name was, but he was saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go and there's no way I can hobby. I cannot take my stuff with me and everything." And I'm like, just, dude, just take a box of 20 models and some glue, and that's all you need, and like some snippers and some glue, and that's all you need. And then every night you can build a couple models, and you can do your streak. It's not a problem. Like, so,
I've got my a t-shirt on today from Black Belt Camp 2015. So again, karate, we do a 2-day residential on years that the world isn't on fire, where our assistant chief instructor comes over and we do 2.5 hour sessions a day, and then there's a social in the evening. But I go up to that on the Friday night. The last one I went to, I bought what was it? A couple of boxes of Adeptus Titanicus Knights with me.
Okay.
And I bought my clippers, and I bought my glue, and I bought my hobby knife. And I was like, right, I've got nothing to do on the Friday evening because none of the people I know are here yet. So I'm going to sit in the dorm room. I'm gonna build these.
Yeah.
So, right. Okay. It's the Saturday. I'm up really early. Nobody else is up yet. Gonna build the other one. And then I went home on the Sunday and I was like, right, okay. All my stuff is here. Now I know that I can just pick. I can pick out whatever was on my desk and get some progress on that. And then, yeah.
Yeah, and I used to have...
Went on holiday with my friends. What was it? It was going to be April 2019 now? And they're all gamers, so we went up north. So we stopped off at Warhammer World on our way to the cabin we were staying for the week. So we bought a box each, and we just sat down, built and painted those at various points over the week in between playing board games. So you can take stuff with you. You just got to be,
and that's the thing also. I mean,
you've got to be mindful about what you're taking, and if you're doing a streak, go, right, will this last me half an hour or whatever you're doing for your streak? Guidelines, yeah.
So there's a thing that...
Will this last me for the duration that I'm away?
Yeah. Well, so if you're carpooling, building and painting inside a car, I don't think it's very practical. So, no. Yeah. But there's still...
Sharp things.
But there's still, like, making lists, army lists and things like this. I've seen a lot of people talking about, I made list, is that okay? I mean, you just spent 2 hours making a list for your army and decided what you're going to buy and what you're going to paint and all this. I think, it should count. Because it's still time you're spending on the hobby, regardless. Now, man, that rain is crazy. The thing is, and that's what I used to do before having the hobby space that I have. I used to have, and I can't pull it out from under the table if there's nothing on top. Of course, there's stuff on top, and I used to have basically just a little container. There we go. So I'll pull it out on the front camera because I cannot. So 2 compartments. I did a little 3D printed just paint holder inside this box, and I used to have this that basically I was taking from... That's okay. I was taking from the hobby place that it used to be before it was a hobby place. took the paints that I needed for that particular model and then bring it to the table in the kitchen. And I would do that there. But that same box I could have taken to, like a hotel or something like this, and it's still the same. And inside I would put my cutting mat, I would put, everything that I needed. And I think that's pretty easy to do. You do not have to take your entire hobby space. I could not take my entire hobby space. There's no way. I got some new paints. Now I have the game color range from 1 till 106 full, and then again from 130 to 136. I'm missing a few, and yeah, so I pretty much have the entire game color range from Vallejo. There is no way I'm taking all that with me. There's no point. And that's the thing also. There's no point of carrying all this. But if you know the paint scheme that you're going to use, model that you're going to paint.
If I'm taking up if I was going away and I was bringing some Stormcast to paint, I know I'd be taking that, taking that, taking that, taking that, taking that, taking that, and that.
There you go. 2, 4, 6, 7 paints. Here we go. That's all you need. Probably any given model, or if you're doing an army, any given troops that you're painting, if you're painting the same for a week and you're going on vacation for a week, then you're just gonna need probably 10 to 20 paints tops, including washes and stuff like that, and metallics and so on. And that's all you need. Speaking of metallics, now I don't know what to use for his rocket. Well, underneath Mr. Deadpool, so I don't know. So that's pretty much all you're gonna need. And like I said, a lot of people also, they're saying, oh yeah, but I watch TV, or and I just didn't feel like going. Well, it's the same thing. Just grab that box. If you have a box like this, and you know that either you don't have a dedicated hobby space, which a lot of people don't, or your dedicated hobby space is just, I don't want to go to the basement or whatever, where it could be, then yes, just make yourself a little box. Before you go sit in front of the TV or whatever, just grab the paints that you need for that evening and just sit down and paint while you watch TV with the family or whatever. And I think that's also, and it's, again, it translates into also traveling. And I know that traveling by air is a pain. Probably all the paints, you should leave them in your suitcase, because it's liquid and it's whatever, and so you're gonna end up with just not. I mean, the only thing that I could think of would be to carry the models with you, put your snippers and hobby knife in your suitcase, and wherever you get to on vacation, buy some super glue and build. Yep. If really that's the only way that you have. If you travel by car, then I think it's a lot easier. But if you travel by air, and there was a guy who was asking, he was like, oh, any recommendation for travel kit, blah blah blah, for air travel? And I'm like, well, unless you want your paints to be gone, you want to either leave them in your suitcase, which you better make sure they're in a Ziploc, double Ziploc, triple Ziploc, and each of them in a separate Ziploc, because if one of them just goes, that's just a nightmare. Yeah. And this is the thing. So, where I live, we are 7,600 feet high, which is 2,000 something meters. Every time I receive paints here, when I open them, they squirt by themselves. So this is something that you have to consider, that with the change of pressure, they're not opened Well, technically they're not open, so they should be fine. You know, it's like a bottle of water. If you don't open it, you go up, you go down, that bottle hasn't moved. But if you go up, you drink it, you close it, you come down, and it's gonna be crushed. So that's kind of the same principle. If those are left in your suitcase, they should be fine. Now, there might be freezing, which I don't know what that's gonna do to the paint. It might just affect the paint. I'm not sure.
Make sure
but
you
again,
check that shit up before you open it at the other end.
Yeah. Well, actually, don't shake it. What you want to do is make sure that you just take it and you open it slowly, so that the paint is at the bottom, and then the excess pressure will go off and not squirt the paint. And then you put it back. And then you shake it. And that's what I do every time I receive paints here, or anything for that matters, because you know, like pack of chips, well, crisp, you call them in the UK. If they are bloated, you don't eat those, because you know there's something wrong. Like if the pack is completely, Here it's normal. If it's not like this, then that's a problem. Right. Because that means it's been pierced. Because that's how they are. They are like, because of the change of altitude. So yeah, so there's a lot of things like this. Every time I open something liquid, you just need to be careful, and it's gonna blow up in your face most of the time.
Words of wisdom.
And paint is a nightmare, because every time it just squirts and it just puts paints everywhere, and you're like, ah. So yeah. So you might be considering that when opening those paints after a long travel, if there was a change of pressure or anything like this. Other than that, I don't see any issues in putting them in your luggage. Like I said, I mean, we've all put alcohol, whatever, bottles of perfumes and all these things. They've traveled by air before, and it's never an issue. And they are not compressed or anything, so should not be an issue. But yeah. Again, you make yourself a little kit in a container, each of them wrap, and you should be fine.
Yeah.
And if you really don't want to do that, like I said,
I've got a little cardboard box that is way over there. That when I go away, that's what I put stuff in. So I know that I've got stuff to do when I'm away, and generally speaking, by the time that I've gone somewhere and built whatever box that I've taken with me, that box is going in the bin. Those sprues are going in the bin, because they're normally empty.
Yeah.
So the space that box would have taken up is now filled with models, which are not normally primed, so I don't care if they get jostled around too much. So.
Yeah, you might want to wrap them in your socks or something to avoid getting them damaged, but that's about it.
I've not built any flimsy models when I've gone away. They've all been stocky ones that, like, if an arm pops off, I'm like, right, okay, that's just done.
Yeah. Yeah, don't take resin models. From the experience I just had, those will not survive. But again, if they're in a container, if you have a plastic container where you started with, you should be fine. You just put them in there, put some socks in between to hold them, just not slashing around, and that's about it. Well, so again, guys and girls, ladies, gentlemen,
and everything in between,
you can do the hobby. You're never too busy. This is something that you should, really consider.
As a man in a movie once said, you can never have time if you don't take time. Bonus points if you get the reference. Comment in the YouTube below.
Say what? Sorry, you cut it.
Comment on YouTube if you get where that reference was from.
Okay. Well, alright. Well, let's talk about the news now.
News.
So, there's been a bunch of stuff that came out.
Where's the news? Scroll. Scroll down it.
Scroll. So, and again, I will try to put some of the pictures of the things we're talking about, but latest news. Alright, well, this is loading. Let's go see. So, Dominion came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it did.
Alright, well, so it looks like there's still plenty of them around.
Yes.
It's not as bad as everybody thought.
Indomitus.
Which now everybody's talking about the fact that they hyped it up and blah 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 and they made too many, and I guess people are never happy.
I mean, we're on the internet. Nobody's ever happy on the internet.
No, everybody's ever, yeah, that's the thing, yeah. That's true. But yeah, so it looks like it's been I think it was received pretty well. Yeah. It's been pretty good. Where is my off-white? So yeah, you've got it.
I've got it.
You've built your
built my half.
Your Stormcast. What do you think about the models themselves? Like, are they, as far as easy to build, good quality, details, the poses?
Pretty. I'm gonna finish putting some paint on this, as much as that's on there, and then I'm gonna point out some issues that I had, because I've got the models behind me.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I demonstrate with the instructions as well, but I built all of my models and then gave the instructions to my friend with his half of the kit, so that he could build his models, because I'm nice like that.
So they're push fit, do you cut the little knobs or do you just leave them?
Story on that as well, get to that. Generally I tend to leave them. Okay. Just to give myself a proper where everything's supposed to go. But this gentleman here, let's make sure I've got that up so I can see. This is the Knight Vexilor. He's the man with the big flag. So his right leg, don't know if you can see there, is behind a piece of sculpted scenery on his base. Okay. Because these all come on 40mm bases with 2 holes punched in, and then everything slots into those 2 holes. But because they've punched the same 2 holes out on every base, everything needs to go into those same 2 holes. So instead of having everybody's legs in the same position, there are either rocks and bits of scenery that they're standing on, or
tactical rocks, basically.
The spear guys. They're normally on 1 foot is pegged in, and then they've got a little bit of terrain with them. Yeah. Like this guy, he's got a rock on his base, so he's stood on that foot, and he's got a rock.
Yeah, to cover the other hole. Okay.
To cover the other hole. But this gentleman, that foot is the same piece as the head, I think it was. And then the torso and the front cape just go on the front. But the back and the other leg, and therefore the base that he stood on, were a separate piece. So I had to sort of slide in and on that. So I'd spent like 10 minutes going, why won't this go together? Before I went, you've got to... Yeah. And then... Where is she? Tall Stormcast lady herself. Yeah. Where she stood on this fantastic staircase. That tree, all the way up there, and the back of her cape, and behind her wings,
Oh, you haven't glued the wings, huh?
I haven't glued the wings on. No, so I can paint those
yeah.
separately. So, the bit where the pegs go on for her wings is a separate piece, but the whole rest of her lower back is the same piece as her robe and the tree, and that slots in like at the bottom of the tree there on the stairs, and then into the back there, and that was a fiddly bastard to get in. And
yeah, I bet. Yeah.
that's when I started snipping the tags off to get that in, because there was no way that was going in as advertised without some help. So
Yeah, when I did the Curse City, which were also the push fit, I actually ended up cutting the pegs, but not fully, just so that I could put the glue inside and I wouldn't get that piston effect.
Yeah,
where they pop out. So, and it worked pretty well. I was happy. It was alright.
Yeah, you've got to be careful where you apply the glue when you're doing the push fit, if you're gluing them.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
for sure.
Like I said earlier, sometimes you want that like effect where it comes out.
Yeah.
So you can flatten it off on the joins. On smooth things like shoulder pads or capes, if they're mad, and put the joins on things like shoulder pads or capes. Which again, got to say, is a bonus for the Stormcast in this compared to the push fit Stormcast in the last two starter sets, which were like front of torso, back of torso, but that included like a split halfway down the shoulder pads, which had sculpted detail on.
So those are molded better, I guess. That's what you're saying.
They've arranged these on the sprue better, and these guys like don't have big shoulder pads anyway. So the arms, I think most of them, the arms had the shoulder pad molded on, and that just slotted in somewhere on the body, which was big and clever, I think is the term I'm going to use.
Oh no, they know what they're doing now. I guess they've done this long enough. When you see the new sprues, like how tight everything is on those, it's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so on top of that Dominion box, I saw there was a couple of models that came out, and I just
my karate event finished like roughly the same time they started doing their Hangout on Hobby Dominion stream. So I was like, right, okay, I can sit in the car, and as I'm being driven home, I can watch this. And then I remembered that I was then going to be trying to get 4G on the M1, which isn't a thing. So I just sat there and watched my phone blow up, as everybody I know was like, these models are really cool. Liam's going to love these. I'm like, yeah, send me the pictures so I can see. I don't have enough internet to stream, but I've got enough internet to look at pictures.
That Lord Commander Bastian Carthalos.
Yes.
Man, that mini is cool. I really like that one. I don't play at all. And this is what I tweeted. I was like, I don't play. And I think that I just think he's really cool, and I just really want to get the model and paint it just because he looks so cool. And yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I mean,
like a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's not dynamic enough." I mean, dude, he's impossible. He's just swag.
You've got two weapons, so cool. two options opposing him with that hammer. Yeah. He's either gonna walk. He's either walking forwards like, I'm gonna fucking have you with this hammer, or he's walking forwards with the hammer in two hands like, I'm really gonna have you with this hammer. So.
So yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, it's like I don't know why people are. I just love that model. I think it's really cool. Yeah. And then they showed
my only thing with him is he's a special character for a specific sub-faction, and they didn't say whether or not there'd be a alternate build that you could use in any faction, sub-faction.
As a generic commander instead of that specific name commander?
He is specifically the Lord Commander of the Hammers of Sigmar.
Okay.
Which are the ones you see on all the box art, the gold guys with the blue accents.
Okay.
So my guys are not those guys.
Alright.
And rather rude.
Yeah, so you don't know if there's going to be like a generic one that's going to be like, hey, he's just a commander that you can use in any army and blah, blah, blah.
Hammers of Sigmar have already got like 10 named characters. There are like 2 named characters for Stormcast that aren't Hammers of Sigmar.
Oh, okay.
Can please, Games Workshop?
Well, they should, yeah, they really should.
That's my only gripe. The model's amazing. I want one. I'm going to paint it this colour.
Yeah, there was 2 others, right? They showed the Vigilators and Annihilators.
The Vigilators are the new guys with the bows.
Which I found weird that they have a bow on one hand and a sword on the other, and you're like, how are you shooting your bow, dude? Okay, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. And then we got to see the separate release box sculpts of the Annihilators.
The big dudes with the hammers and the shield, right?
Yes, they're in the Dominion box. So we've got 3 of those in Dominion.
Okay.
The stream quite nicely confirmed for everybody that 3 is the minimum unit size.
Yeah, so for once there's a box with an actual unit inside and not half a unit.
Proper unit sizes in, which is nice.
Yeah.
So they've got.
Yeah, I read some comments about that. They're like, oh yay!
And you've got an option, I believe, for a 2-handed weapon, which is going to hit like a truck, considering how hard the 1-handed version hits.
Alright, cool.
Which is going to be nice. And potentially, there was a Broken Realms fiction story that went up on the website. I think it was yesterday. But people have got the email notifications and all of that. Would have had it in their email inbox a little bit earlier than that. But there is a tease that there is going to be some dragon riders coming for Stormcast 2 soon. So we've already got the Stardrake model, which is quite nice. But these are probably going to be a different kind of dragon. They're going to, they'll almost certainly have the new armor design on the Stormcast riding it. But I'm hoping that they fit in a sort of... The Stardrake at the moment is your big centerpiece model.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that these are like a step down from that and something you can have like 2 or 3 of in your force. Without like taking up your entire army's points allowance or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then they teased the orcs as well.
Yeah, some of those
like
are really
some new orcs.
They're really nice. Let me
so I wrote down
look at those.
Swamp Boss Scumdrek. That's just like that one looks weird, but in a good way. I really like it. The other one, which is the
he's got an alternate build.
Yeah, with the heads and and they say that he's got an alternate build that he's not named and blah blah blah. So yeah, but The one that's really weird for me is the Marshcrawler Slogoth.
Yeah.
That just looks weird because it looks like because it's I guess a troll or something on the bottom.
Yeah.
It just looks weird. It just really looks weird. But again, like I think it looks pretty cool. There are some really good models. If you like orcs, I guess like this is kind of with, and we're gonna talk about it with Kill Team coming out. I think like the orcs are really, they're really in this year.
It's the year of the orc. For sure.
But
Good
yeah,
time to
so
be green.
those looks looks pretty cool. The men's skewer, I thought were pretty cool too with the giant crossbow things. I didn't put the picture in our document, but I'll put the picture online on the videos where they have like those giant crossbow things, and I think they looks pretty cool. Yeah, so again, yeah, those. I mean, yeah, the swamp boss, like I think is really cool. It's heavy as far as details is concerned. But I think it fits. I think it fits with the model, so I don't think it's that much of a stretch. It's like, yeah, I think it looks pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to what my friend does with his crawl boys. They're going to look ace when he's done with them.
Yeah. And then when did they announce Kill Team? Like
Saturday.
This weekend? Saturday, yeah.
Saturday just
New
gone.
Kill Team, which it's funny because I was watching the videos from Atom, Uncle Adam, and he was like, "Well, I think they're gonna release something," and then boom, they had the videos out. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I mean, I saw his Sunday show. Was I psychic about Kill Team again? So.
Yeah. Oh, were you at the thing?
I
did you follow it live or?
I didn't get to see the Kill Team reveal stream because I was at work.
No. The every other Sunday show.
No. That's a weird time for me. I think it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Normally for me, which is when I normally leave to go to a pub. So unfortunately not.
Yeah, I usually try to be there, and but I'm doing other things at the same time, so I just usually I just have it in the ears and just going around doing other things. But yeah, so Kill Team again. Not a big GW fan. I don't play a lot of their games or paint a lot of their models for that matter. But they do look. I like the Krieg. Is that their name? Krieg.
Deathcore of Krieg.
Yep. I like them. I like those models. They look like cool models. The orcs looks fun too.
A friend of mine at the club has some of the resin deathcore that Forge World produced way back when. Yeah. He uses them for his. I think it's one or other of the either the Imperial Army or Solar Ox for Horus Heresy. He uses them for that.
Yeah, so now there is big talks about the fact that it's now an alternative activation, and so there was some talk. The Warhammer community website had some little talks on it, and I realized I'm super close to my mic, so I probably yelled in the mic. Sorry about that. I am looking for something to shade this. I guess contrast paint will be. So yeah, so there was talks about this, the iconography, because apparently there's a lot of icons now. And the other one was the rulers that they use, which look kind of similar to, like,
They look like the combat gauges.
Sorry?
They look like the combat gauges for AOS and 40k to me.
Well,
in the picture that I saw,
they kind of look like if you take Marvel Crisis Protocol, you have those. If you take Legion, you have those.
Yeah.
Where you have movement sticks that are for the different movements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Yeah. Long, short, medium for the movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the range attacks and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. So apparently they're gonna be doing that. I think they're trying to do more similar to Warcry in the rules and everything. Something that is not as linked to, like 40k as it was before. Because before, if you knew 40k, you knew how to play Kill Team, and vice versa in a way, which is not the case with Warcry.
No, that's a very different game.
Warcry, you don't know how to play Age of Sigmar for sure. Like the rules are completely different. The activation, everything is different. The dice rolling and all this, and the triplets and whatever, and all the stuff that you can do. Yeah, that's completely different. And I think that they're trying to do something similar with Kill Team. So I don't know if it's a good thing. If the rules are easier, I'm tempted to actually, that I would be tempted to look into it and maybe play if they're not full-blown 40k rules. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing exactly, but we'll see. We'll see when it finally comes out.
We've started to get some Kill Team players down the club, so I will canvass their opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah, like that. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it and see how it goes, but I don't know. We'll see. Is that something that you play 40k at all?
I used to play 40k. I got into the hobby with 40k, so I started playing 40k in around 3rd edition. Sort of dropped off when 5th edition came out.
Oh, okay.
Came
that's a while. Yeah.
back end of 6th, and then the Horus Heresy happened in terms of like the game line. So I was like, ooh, Horus Heresy, that's big and clever, and everybody I know is playing that. Let's go play that instead.
Okay.
So I play Horus Heresy, which is basically 7th edition 40k.
Okay.
So there was like a divergent timeline where 8th and 9th edition went off that way, and 7th edition kept going, and that's Horus Heresy.
Okay, makes sense. So,
some people want the next edition of Horus Heresy to be closer to 8th and 9th edition 40k. And I'm like, I kind of like it how it is. It needs work, yes, but I kind of like it. Like the general engine that it's built off of works better for me in my head, I think.
So you wrote something in the news on our document. Jervis Johnson?
Yes.
What's that about?
So Jervis Johnson is retiring from Games Workshop.
Okay.
So let me get that. So I got my White Dwarf through the door today when I got home from work. That is here. And we opened it. It's got the Age of Jervis, and they've got a big article on all the things that Jervis has done over the years. So he's the guy who wrote Blood Bowl.
Okay.
He
Cool.
playtested
Wow.
Rogue Trader. He helped
Okay.
make Adeptus Titanicus, which was into Space Marine, which was into Epic. Helped write Hero Quest, Space Crusade, a couple editions
And
of
so,
Fantasy Battles. He was the head of the Specialist Games studio for a while. So the man has written and been responsible for a lot of
well, so
the game
is he
design.
retiring? Is he getting fired? What's going on? Do you know?
He's retiring.
He's retiring. Okay, so he's
Yeah.
not even moving like to another company or anything like this, or doing
No,
his own thing, or he's just like, I'm done.
there's an article here. So that way back when he used to do an article called the J Files, which went under various different names throughout the years, and he's like, it's a somewhat heavy heart, but also with a feeling contentment, closure that I write this, my final ever column for White Dwarf magazine. After 38 years at Games Workshop, I've decided it's time to pass on the baton of rules writing to a younger generation. In other words, I've decided to retire. Hopefully, by the time you read this, I will be on a beach somewhere drinking cocktails and reading about the hobby from afar on social media.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Oh,
So,
cool.
Jervis Johnson, a man who is responsible for many games that people in the community
Oh
hold
yeah,
dear
no,
to
yeah,
their
for
heart.
sure. Jeez.
Has
Cool. So, well,
put his
that's
last
good.
full stop on a Word document.
He had a good career,
Yeah.
I guess. You know, it's if he's and the good thing is he's retiring. Like, you know, like it's always sad to see people that have been with the company for like 30 years being like, yeah, you just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go work for that other company, and then they do some awesome
Yeah.
new stuff in that other company. So it's like,
See also Mantic Games.
really?
Yeah, Mantic is made up of a lot of people who left Games Workshop,
Oh, cool. Good to know.
and they work down the road from the Games Workshop site. There's a lot of hobby and miniature production in and around Nottingham.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of guys from Privateer Press. They
Yeah.
went to Atomic Mass Game, which are the producer of Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is our next news topic. Hey, look at that transition. Segue!
We're good at this. We're smooth.
So, yeah, just before we recorded, there was a video announcement from Marvel Crisis from Atomic Mass Game for Marvel Crisis Protocol, because they also have Legion now. And basically they announced Mordo and the Ancient One, Doctor Strange, which is the second version, because that's Doctor Strange first version. So there is a new version of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange with Clea, which is the dark, like she was his wife, ex-wife, his girlfriend, pupil, and she's from the dark dimension. She's like the niece of Dormammu, apparently, from what I could read in the lore real quickly. I didn't know her. They've put the Sanctum Sanctorium, which is the big building where Doctor Strange lives, which is really cool. That looks like a really nice building. Dormammu, and Dr. Voodoo and Hood. And Hood is actually two figures. One is the normal Hood, and the other one is the Hood with the hood, and he's possessed, and he's got that demonic kind of tongue sticking out and all this. Dormammu is massive. I mean, so when you look it next to a figure, there was a figure in the video that's sitting on. So they're 40 millimeters already. They're a little bit bigger than, and it's already sitting kind of like Deadpool. It's sitting on something, so it's already probably 60 millimeters, and that thing was probably twice, if not more, high. So it's like, if it's not 100 millimeter plus, it's probably even bigger than that. I would say maybe even 150. It's massive. Like, this guy looks huge. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited to get this. Now, before that comes out, there is still a few that have not arrived yet, which are on their way. So you've got the Amazing Spider-Man. So Spider-Man already has 2 versions right now. You have Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Miles Morales. I don't know if you've seen Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome. Into the Spider-Verse is just awesome. So there's those 2, but now they did the Amazing Spider-Man, which is basically the older version of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, but like a little bit older into the timeline. So he's a little bit stronger and so on. With Black Cat, which I'm happy to see. Blade and Moon Knight, sorry. So Blade is awesome. I'm really happy. And it's funny because they modeled him after Wesley Snipes. You can see the model, like the actual figure just looks like Wesley Snipes. So I think it's pretty cool. Mysterio and Carnage, and Lizard and Kraven. Lizard is really nice. I really like the sculpt. It's like shooting out of sewer. So there's the sewer things, and then the splash of water all around. I'll put some pictures on the videos, but they're I think some of them are really nice, and they're making
the Marvel Crisis Protocol figures that I've seen. They look so amazing and dynamic and like properly like they've taken a comic frame and just gone, right, we're going to make a model out of this. It looks really good.
And it's funny because some of them are based on comic, some of them are more the movie version.
Right.
So it depends. Like, I'm looking at them now. Star-Lord is more the movie version. Captain America was more the movie version. This one is, well, it's the new series that's come out. The Falcon, Captain America. Yeah. And it's just awesome. So yeah, some of them are more comic book. Kingpin is the comic book version. Toad is the ancient, like the old one. I mean, they've mixed and they've taken the Ant-Man is definitely the movie version. But I mean, this guy, Mr. Deadpool, like he's funny. Like it's the fact that there is the swoosh on the on the just to make the noise.
One of my favorite things about the DC model game that they do. I think it's by Night Miniatures. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
they used to they used to have the Marvel too.
They've got like a different version of each of the characters from like each of the appearances that they've had in different forms of media, and they come with a stat card in there that is for that version. So there's like 5 or 6 different Batmans. And
they've done the same kind of.
The Adam West Batman is different from the Keaton Batman, which is different from the Conroy Batman, which is different from the etc. etc. Just something
this is kind of what they've done for this one. Like I'm holding now is 2 versions of Black Widow.
Yeah.
One is just Black Widow, and the other one is Black Widow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so those are the 2 versions. Right now, that's the only character that has 2 versions, with Doctor Strange coming out, and, well, before that, Amazing Spider-Man, that's going to be the 2 versions of the same character, Peter Parker, the 2 versions. But this one, it's still, like, there's, I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with a few different versions. I'm expecting Hulk somewhere down the line to have a Gladiator Hulk version, probably.
Gladiator Hulk, Professor Hulk, Red Hulk.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch that they can do. Who else? I don't know. They did different alternative heads for like Scott, X-Men, Cyclops, and Wolverine. So those they've done different heads that you could do with the mask or without the mask or stuff like that, which is more comic book or TV show kind of thing. So yeah, but their sculpts are getting better and better, and they're just, I really like them. Like I like painting them miniatures. So, and I think that Mr. Deadpool is almost done for today.
Nice.
Almost, yeah, it's getting there. I'm pretty happy. I need to do some work on the smoke. Probably yellow it a little bit at the exit of the actual rocket. But yeah, yeah, no, they've done some really cool models. Some I don't particularly care, like Black Bolt. Yeah, he's fine, but. And I don't know, like, if you play the game, probably he's got some, like, he's probably really good. But I have a whole bunch of them now that I mean, I still need to paint Sinister, Luke Cage, which is in his natural, like, his pose, Iron Fist, Cable, Scarlet Witch, Crystal, Quicksilver, Domino, Angela, and I never remember his name. But anyway, so yeah, I still have a whole bunch of them still to do. So I'm trying to get those done quite quickly. So I mean, that's the thing. The ones that I really wanted to spend time with, like painting, like Deadpool, or probably my next one after him is gonna be the one I'm gonna spend a lot of time on. Is gonna be Falcon. Captain America, because it's just awesome. So yeah, that's probably the next one I'm gonna spend some time on it. But yeah, you can see, like, you can definitely see the evolution between the things. So there is one thing that I wanted to say before we wrap up for today. Well, how did you do today? Let me see what you painted.
I've got. Where's my camera? There we go. Praetor 1.
Alright, cool.
Praetor 2.
So, do they have, like, are they...
Praetor Prime.
They're, halberd, or they're...
It's basically a halberd, yeah. I think
Alright.
it's got a like a Sigmar name where it's got a shock or a thunder or a in front of it, but
Okay.
it's a halberd. And their job is to follow a particular hero character around and be his bodyguard.
And protect him?
And when I took him
Or
in the
her.
game last Sunday, they died to archery fire. And the guy was like, right, I'm going to target them. I was like, oh, okay, right, cool. 20 bow shots later.
Alright, so they're gonna be... Who are you gonna paint next, then?
So I'll keep doing these guys over the next couple of episodes. So I think I'm going to be picking at the Dominion stuff when we record for the next few until I'm finished with all the Mortal Realm stuff. And then the Mortal Realm stuff is what I'll be doing in between until I've got that done. That is starting to come to an end. I want to get that stuff done.
Alright. Well, so the last thing I wanted to say was there was a comment for the Felhouse on Twitter, and he said, and it's an expression that I really liked, and I was gonna use it today, and I forgot. When we're talking about brushes, it's like brushes are hobby wands.
Mm.
And I think it's awesome.
And make magic happen.
Yeah, well, first of all, you make the magic happen. Second of all, every person is gonna be different, and is gonna have something that they're gonna feel comfortable with. And like I said, I don't know what's with the the Winsor & Newton that everybody likes so much, I cannot... It's like I cannot coordinate my eyes and my hand to paint where I want to. And I don't know why. Because it's just, like, it's the same as any other ones. Well, apparently not. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but that's the way it is. And again, everybody, thank you for being with us for, an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We went a little bit long today. Hope it's not too long for you guys. You can, look at it this way. That's 3 sessions of 30 minutes that you can watch us and or listen to us while you actually do your hobby. This guy is looking great. My little Deadpool. I'll probably finish it off screen and just get done with the base and the smoke. And next time I'll start on something else. Thanks again, everybody. Thank you, Liam, for being there again. And keep on hobbying, keep on streaking. And we'll see you next time. Alright. Bye. This has been an episode of the Hobby Streakers. If you're following us on YouTube, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell for any future episode. If you're following us on a podcast, please leave a positive review. Thank you, and don't forget to keep that hobby streak going.